We have not one, not two, not three, but four guests today, all part of the same team. They're doing a lot of great things with seller financing and single-family housing. Here they all are, Angel, Alex, Verge, and Mitch. They're doing amazing things. I'm excited about this episode today. This is the most guests I've ever had all in at once, so this might be a little different from my normal episodes, but I'm excited to try new things. I guess I'm gonna go around the room. If you guys want to give like 30 seconds each, how long you been in real estate? What's your skill set? Because I think you all as a group have your each individual skill sets. So I think we can highlight this in this moment. What you do for your guys' company, and just kind of a little about yourself. 30 seconds each. We'll go down the line because I think Angel's next to me. He's on my left here. So Angel, if you want to go first, then we'll do Alex, Verge, and Mitch down the line.
Yeah, my name is Angel Perez. My specialty in the team is talking to agents and sellers. That's where I feel like I excel at the best. And then also pretty good at building like automations and workflows. CRM, that way we can automate as much as we can while still keeping the quality control exceptional.
How long have you been in real estate?
I've been in real estate for a little bit over a year now,
Okay.
full time.
Okay. Alex?
So I'm Alex, and my specialty, I would say, is doing acquisitions and disposition and also a lot of networking. And I'm coming up on a year being in real estate full time. Actually, it'll be January 18th where I don't have a W-2.
Wow. Okay, amazing. Verge, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Verge. I specialize, I'm the integrator in the group, specialize a lot of system and processes. Been in the industry, I say, for about a decade now. Majority of my experience is from property management, and now been doing real estate investing for a year now.
Okay, awesome. Mitch?
Hi, my name is Mitch. I've been in real estate since 2007, closed over 1,000 transactions. I've flipped over 500 houses. I've flipped over 500 apartment doors. I've done 70 Airbnbs. And so now we're actually purchasing sub 2 across the country, and we're wrapping those to buyers who traditionally don't qualify for a mortgage.
Mitch, do you consider yourself the leader? Because it sounds like you are a leader of the group with the most experience.
I have the most experience, but, one of the reasons why I love working with all these boys here was that we met on a podcast, and I was looking for attitude, not credentials. And so they all had the right work ethic, the right attitude. And so I thought I would just jump in with them. So if you want to call me the leader, you can. It's totally up to you. But I look at myself as a member of the team. So.
Oh, nice. I think it's very, very important that everybody forms their key roles, because this business is very hard and difficult to do. But with a lot of responsible people around you, it makes it a lot easier. So that's the caveat.
Absolutely.
One thing I've noticed too is the bigger the team gets, the easier it becomes, because everybody's kind of pulling their weight in the same direction, and everybody knows what the outcome is, and everybody's pushing towards it. So it makes things a lot more effective and efficient, at least from my point of view.
It definitely makes it a lot easier when we all know where we want to go and we can all head that way together, right? And if we want to get to the same destination, it just makes it easier.
Yeah. I understand. So most Angel and Alex, you guys have been a year. What's the last year been like for you, kind of enveloping into this new business? Because I think for you guys to know what you guys know in a year is pretty insane. Because we'll jump into a lot of the creative stuff here in a second. But what's the last year looked like to you? Because I think even a year, Alex, without a W-2 is amazing. So I want to say congratulations to that. It's not a small feat. So what's your last year been like, Alex and Angel?
So I'll start in the beginning of my journey. When I was doing this full time, it was very hard. I didn't get my first deal for about 4 to 5 months into it. I was really just debating if I should just go back to a W-2, but I stuck with it. And now we have an amazing team together, and it's just been really great ever since.
Well, my experience has been, I closed a real estate transaction very early in last year, and then my tax returns hit. So I was like, oh, there's my emergency fund. So I went all in. I quit, and I just started cold calling for sub 2 deals. And then within the first month, I had 4 accepted offers. I was just cold calling like crazy from like 9 to 6 p.m. Well, out of those 4 offers, only two went all the way to the finish line, and then the other 2 just fell out of escrow. But there's been a lot of highs, like lows and downs throughout the entire past year.
Yeah, that's all it is, man. You learn from each. You learn from each transaction. I think each transaction is completely different. You learn a lot, and this is where I think like the experience comes in. So let's hop into Verge. You've been doing this for a good chunk, a good 5+ years. Tell us a little about your property management experience. Were you managing like single family or apartments? What was that look like?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to be originally in IT, but I didn't have experience, so they put me as front desk of like a luxury property management, like student housing company, and then from there just moved my way up and yeah, gained a lot of the experience like in like property management. Majority of it was multifamily. Ended up leaving and started my own HOA management company, and I sold it actually last year, so I can just go full time with sub two and like real estate investing.
Okay. And Mitch, you have a lot of experience across a lot of different asset classes. Why are you on sub two right now besides other asset classes? And why'd you end up like here doing this type of strategy out of all the strategies you've done in the past?
So, I started off as a real estate agent originally, and then I moved into working with investors. And so I started, flipping single family residence with flippers, kind of learned that game, and then flipped several hundred houses on my own with a team. And then kind of, from making money from flips, I kind of flipped myself out to where I wanted to move more into like long-term cash flow, equity, those kind of things. Also, when you're flipping houses too, you'll end up with a very large tax bill if you don't own property as well. So then I moved into the multifamily space, which I still own a lot of multifamily. But as far as moving into sub two, I wanted to move across. I wanted to be able to do deals all over the country and not have to be in all those markets and be an active operator anymore. And so, the sub two really kind of opened my eyes up. The first sub two deal I ever did was in 2001. It was the first house I ever bought. And then I didn't do it for 20 years, And so, which is kind of funny, right? Like you do it and then you're like, hey, let me go try it the hard way for a while and then jump back in. But yeah, the sub two, what I really like is that we can purchase, properties all over the country with 0 to 4% interest rates. And then we can actually wrap them, to buyers who want to buy a home but maybe can't qualify because the bank doesn't like their income, their financials, or the fact that they're self-employed. All of us are self-employed, and unless you have W-2 income, or if you have a lot of income from your self-employed that you're paying taxes to, it's very difficult for you to qualify. So for me, I thought, what a great opportunity where we can I can purchase sub two all over the country and then wrap those to end buyers. One of the things I've done is I've actually been selling off my portfolio of properties in California and 1031 exchanging into sub two across the country. And then we're actually wrapping all those to new buyers, and then I'll 1031 out into new sub two deals. We'll wrap those and then kind of rinse and repeat over and over.
So I have a high level question for you. So if you're 1031, you have to find a property of equal or greater value. Are you like getting a bunch of them together to do that too, as well? Like, because if you have something that's 1031, you have to find something. You have to find out like a packet of deals to potentially 1031 into higher or equal value.
No, you're 100% correct. So a recent 1031 with a partner. And what I did is my portion of 1031, I went and bought 5 sub two deals around the country. So, we had to meet a $1.3 million exchange, and I spent $2 million.
Okay.
So I went over the actual 1031 amount. But one of the philosophies that I did with multifamily, which is what we're going to do with single family, is every time I buy a house and we sell it to a wrap buyer, when we sell it, we'll actually go buy 2 more. So every time we sell one, we buy 2. Sell one, buy 2. And that's kind of how you can scale your portfolio pretty quick.
This is for anybody here. So can anybody like condense like the strategy on the front end as far as how you're helping sellers and then how you're helping buyers on the back end? Like just to give like a consolidated model. I know Mitch kind of gave a longer answer, but if anyone wants to give like a minute how you're doing on the front end, a minute how you're doing on the back end, then we can kind of jump in a little bit into more details.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're purchasing these houses subject to the existing loan. So we're helping out sellers that are in foreclosure or have a low or negative equity situation where they just can't sell the house or they have to come out of pocket at closing. So we help them take over their loan. Now we become the new owners, Then we owner finance other people that don't qualify the traditional way, such as business owners, I-10 buyers, and we're helping them get an opportunity to have a house.
Gotcha. So how are you marketing on the front end to sellers?
So we're doing mostly direct to agent. So we have a lot of relationships with various agents and a lot of sub-2 students that bring us deals.
Okay. And it's just cold calling, like angels cold calling those agents?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, all right.
We actually have a variation. So as Alex said, we do have a lot of text campaigns that go out, and then everybody on the team is, building relationships with agents. We have a lot of wholesalers that bring us deals from the various real estate groups that we're involved in. We also have our own team from the Philippines that cold call direct to seller, and we're actually getting ready to start doing. We already have direct to seller that we've been going, but we're going to be expanding on that. And then we also have third-party VA teams that we work with that bring wholesale deals as well.
So how big is the VA team in the Philippines?
Our internal team right now is 8. And then we have another sub-team, 4 people. So 12 total.
That's a lot of people. It's a lot of leads.
A lot of leads. Yeah, we get a lot of leads. Just from our internal relationships, we get between 20 and 30 sub-2 leads a day that are, pretty decent leads. Then we just kind of filter through and figure out which ones are going to work the best for us. But that's one of the things we're looking to do is we're looking to continue to build relationships with, wholesalers and agents out there around the country. We're constantly buying, 0 to 4% interest rate deals. So
how are you guys overcoming if people are behind that reinstatement fee, if it's too great, are you just avoiding all those, or you're looking for stuff that's almost like up to date and current as far as like sub-2 deals?
No, most of the stuff we're buying, let's say, for example, like the deals that we're working on the market with agents, a lot of those houses have been on the market 30, 60, 90 days. They're either, they could be current, but maybe they already moved out of the house and it's vacant. And so now they've already been on the market. They've been paying mortgages for, 2 to 3 months. What we're doing is we're able to buy those because we're willing to pay all the agent commissions, the escrows, the titles, that kind of stuff in order to get those deals.
I gotcha. So you're paying. So usually you're not acquiring mortgages that are behind, and then you're coming out of the agent commissions. Now the agent commissions can get pretty hefty in other markets, especially like California. So you're still coming up with a good 5 figures on most of these projects just to get into them sub-2. Do they always have a certain amount of equity on the front end?
Yeah, it really depends. If it's low to no, of course, if they just bought the property within like 2 years ago, there won't be like much equity. We would end up paying out the equity at closing. If it does have like a hefty equity, we would do some sort of like they would do like an owner carry, like do a little installment sale just for the equity.
Okay, so you give them some $10,000-$20,000 down, and then $300 a month or whatever till the equity pays out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one thing I noticed with you guys, I know we spoke before previously in little side meetings for different stuff, but you guys are wrapping into 40 years to make it cash flow essentially. Is that every property, or you just kind of maneuver the numbers? And this is why I like talking to you guys. You guys are the sub-2, the wrap guys.
I think each situation is a little different, right? What we're really focused on is the payment for the borrower at the end of the day. I mean, people go out and buy $80,000 trucks every day, right? But it comes down to that monthly payment. We used to see 48-month payments, 60-month payments, 74 or 72, 84. Now you're seeing 96-month truck payments, right? Look at your cell phone, your iPhone. They used to be $350. Now they're $2,000. And what happens is that, inflation, kicks in. And so most people are looking at what can they actually afford monthly. So we're more focused on the monthly payment for the borrower and the down payment and their ability to actually be able to afford the mortgage. And then we can, because we're actually financing the property for them, we can do 30-year, 35, 40-year mortgages, and we can play with the interest rates. A lot of people doing what we're doing, they're charging 10 or 11% interest rates. And so we're able to offer lower interest rates. We might charge a little bit more for the property, but their payments actually lower because we give them a lower interest rate.
I see. And this is why I love the mortgage calculator, because you can manipulate the numbers to make it seem. You can make it seem whatever you want to make it seem.
Mhm.
So I think you guys found that your end buyers, they don't like paying a high interest, so you maneuver the purchase price on the exit. Now, are you guys keeping these wraps, or are you selling the wraps, or what's the exit strategy with the wrap itself that you create?
I was just going to say we have a couple different options with it. We want to keep some of them, and then we want to sell some of the notes as well. So I would say half and half, because we want to have long-term cash flow, but at the same time, we do want to have money today. So that's what we're doing on those.
Now, let's say somebody wanted to buy a wrap deal from you guys. What does that normally look like? The buy-in? Are you buying, like, what's your exit strategy on the sell? You're giving like a certain cap rate, the sub 2 note. Like, what's the exit strategy when you're selling that wrap to somebody?
It really depends on what their target is.
Okay.
So let's say they want like a 20% ROI. It could be just a 10% ROI. Just like you said, since we control the note, we can cater. Same thing of how we sell it. Can cater to the specific buyer's, I guess, criteria. Depending on the monthly payment, on like the wrap buyer end of monthly payment of affordability, and selling the note part of monthly return or target return.
Yeah, it mainly depends on the investor's like target return, like what Verge was saying. So if they want like a 20% target return, they're obviously going to try to buy our note at a bigger discount, as opposed to an investor who wants to get us an 8% targeted return. They can offer a little bit more for the note as compared to the investor who wants a 20% targeted return.
Now, you guys are part of Sub 2 and Pace. Are you selling those back to the community mostly for people that want the ROI, or are you trying to find those individual buyers separately?
Typically, the individual buyers. Noticed in the sub 2 community, not many people are note buyers.
All right, I got you. Not too many people are no buyers. Okay, so there's a lot of moving parts. So I'm going to kind of break it down for everybody listening. So for everybody here that doesn't know about Sub 2, please go check out Sub 2. And you guys just did an interview with Pace recently, right? It just came out. What's that video called again? What's the title of it?
How to
avoid like foreclosure or like
and wraps.
And wraps, yeah.
Okay, so go check out that video. But essentially what's happening is you have a distressed seller that wants to cash out. They have equity. They might not have equity. You're taking over the property Sub 2. From there, you're finding an end buyer to put a down payment down. Do they normally cover that? This is another question. Do they normally cover that down payment you're getting to the seller? Or sometimes you have like, you need 20 to buy and 10 to sell? Or you're always trying to get that 20 or 30 on the sell side?
Each situation is a little different, right? Depends on what our entry is to the property. You know, I mean, we want to get most or all of our money back from a down payment from a borrower if we can, but it just depends, right? I mean, the market's going to tell you what you're able to do. You know, sometimes we're able to get more than our down payment. It just depends. Once we put the property out there, you know, we do an underwriting on it. We put it out on the market, and then we start listening to what the buyers are saying, you know, because the buyers, especially on social media, they're going to message you and tell you what they can put down and what they're able to do. And, you know, you're going to get the good, the bad, the ugly with comments and all that kind of fun stuff on social media. And so we just kind of look at that and we determine, you know, where we're at and what payment can we take, you know, and what down payment can we accept up front.
So you guys said you're doing this nationally. Is it like anywhere, or is it like major markets?
For the most part, I mean, we're trying. I mean, we're doing several markets right now because we're actually helping a lot of other people that own Sub 2 deals. So we're able to help people sell their sub deals, and then we're also buying and selling our own. I mean, our major markets for us right now are like California, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, Texas, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, but we're doing deals in Oregon, Pennsylvania, you know, all over the place. So Ohio, Indiana, New Orleans.
How do you guys stay organized? Because that's crazy.
Yeah, we have we built basically like a task tracker and a property tracker where every single step is accounted for before going through every type of transaction, or not every type, but every transaction. So every time there's one step is finished, it gets checked off and moved to the next step. So it's It's automated enough where we can still handle like the quality control.
Gotcha. So one thing I've done deals all over the place, and it gets kind of hairy because if you're finding end buyers for every property, because we do this similarly as well, because we try and find retail buyers to buy our properties, just like you try to find retail wrap buyers that'll buy your property or to get into the wrap. How are you finding those individual wrap buyers per market per deal? Because that can get pretty crazy. Because as you do more deals, you can of course build a buyers list in certain areas. But if you're doing one-offs in different pocket submarkets, how do you keep track of that?
Yeah, that's what we gotta have. We need to have like a criteria. So as far as like population for wraps going to other like markets, we want to keep it like standard at least 100K in population. I mean, the more population, the more chance you have a wrap buyer. And another big thing is relationships with like loan officers, relationships with a lot other real estate agents on if they have any clients. Like the past couple of weeks, we've actually done a daily like loan officer like university, and teaching them that we're catering to a lot of like non-QM buyers, just basically people who aren't getting approved traditionally.
QM is qualified mortgage.
Yes.
No. So this is why I like the. Quick question: are you running through RMLO?
Oh yes.
Absolutely. We make sure every single wrap that we do goes through the RMLO process. That way we're legal compliant and our note is actually worth money.
Okay. So that was a side question. I knew the answer to that, but I gotta ask. People don't know. People don't know. You know, like I think this stuff like this is we're educating people about it, but you also gotta talk to people that do this all the time too. So RMLO is always necessary. And then one thing I really want to hit on is qualified mortgage, the QMs. So this is, I think, is very, a lot of people don't understand this, and even the loan officers don't understand this because everything that they do is for qualified mortgage people. So I think it's very, very important that you're educating loan officers because that alone should increase your lead flow on the buyer side because you're not dealing with traditional mortgage. So can somebody jump into what the difference is between a qualified mortgage borrower and a non-qualified mortgage borrower is?
Sure. So in a lot of the conversations that we're having, we're talking to loan officers every single day. One of the things that we figured out is that non-QM loans right now, the minimum FICO score is about 640. With a 640 FICO score on a non-QM loan, most lenders are going to require 20 to 25% down, and they're going to give that borrower a 9 to 11.25% interest rate. So a non-QM is someone where maybe the bank doesn't like their tax returns. They can't show sufficient or consistent income. So somebody maybe like a contractor, self-employed, restaurant owners, maybe it could even be real estate agents, right? Where their income is fluctuating up and down all the time. So, the bank doesn't see a W-2 income where they're making the same payment they're making the same income every week, every month, every year. So these people fall into a non-QM. Credit is also another factor for that. So that's the reason why, one of the main reasons why we started offering this because, almost like 65% of everybody who applies for a loan mortgage through a regular bank gets denied. So what do all those people do?
They rent.
They rent, right? So we just want to be able to provide them a better opportunity, where they could go in and buy. So, for us, because we're doing seller finance, they don't need to have 20 or 25% down. They might have 15% down. It really comes down to, do they have a sustainable job? Is their income consistent? Do they have the down payment? And can they realistically afford that payment?
That was my next question. You answered it, but I was going to ask: are you competitive with your seller financing wraps versus non-QM bank loans? And you answered that pretty
Absolutely,
pretty skillfully. Yeah. So I think that's very, very important because one of the big things about real estate, and I love like your guys' real estate, is just you're servicing underappreciated communities where there's no product for them. and there's huge money to be made when you're serving underappreciated communities. And it's not like these are bad people. Like you said, they're business owners, they're real estate agents, they're entrepreneurs in most cases. There might be immigrants. This is one of the things where I think it's a very important what your product to the marketplace is a good product to the marketplace, and it makes you feel good about it. I don't think you guys have a problem sleeping at night doing what you do, because I think you're providing you're providing inventory that wouldn't necessarily be available for anybody else.
Exactly.
Which is important, because we do the same thing. So one of the reasons why, like I said, we've kind of correlated in a lot of different ways, us and you guys, because you guys are you're doing single family, we're doing land, but we service the same community, and there's a lot of money to be made, and it just makes you feel good at night that you're providing what people need and want to the people that need and want it. So I think it's a great resource you guys are providing. It shows the experience level. Now let's talk about deal flow. So you guys are getting 30 leads a day. We kind of covered that a little bit earlier. What's your close ratio on those, and like how many deals have you done in the last 6 months?
I mean, I would say like average right past 6 months, average like 6 to 10. But when we actually teamed up together, deal flow has actually increased. So we literally combined forces, Mitch with all the VAs, us with our I guess like CRM system, and our day to day, right? I mean, we see it projected to double in the next like 6 months or even quarter or so.
Yeah, so one thing I like about this is track record, and as you know, and as a fixer for these issues, people will bring you more opportunity, especially in the PACE community and something community. So one thing I really want to hit on is a lot of people, when they think they'll try and go at this by themselves, and I think there's 4 you guys here. They go at this by themselves and they think 1 + 1 = 2. But I think you said it right here is like 1 + 1 = 3 or 4, because you get amplification. And you guys if you guys combine a lot of forces, and if you guys go in the same direction, you guys can really amplify the output, because there's a lot more push in the same direction. It's huge. So I think if there's 4 of you aligned in the same goal, you guys can do really amazing things in a very short amount of time.
That's the plan.
So let's talk about Homester. Anybody want to cover like what that is and what the like service you provide in the community?
Yeah, Homester essentially is basically just a platform where we can provide these homes and be able to list these homes for just another marketplace, I would say, where people, like a lot of non-QM buyers and QM buyers, I mean, the more the merrier, right, are able to take a look at our inventory, not only our inventory, all the people that we're helping out.
One of the things too, what we're planning on doing with Homester as well is, we are marketing properties across the country on there, but also there's a lot of buyers that are out there. This is why we started educating loan officers, because, there might be a buyer out there and they're looking at something that's on our website and they're like, oh yeah, I'd love to have a house in San Antonio or Houston or Miami, but I don't see it on your list. I'm looking for something a little different. I want a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, whatever. Those buyers are actually going to be able to reach out to us, and we will actually contact them. We'll figure out what they're looking for, and then we will go out there. We will find that property. We'll write an offer on it, and we'll seller finance it back to them.
Wow, that's crazy,
right? Who does that?
That's very. I mean, I think it sounds unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of it is, though, I mean, we're really trying to cultivate great relationships, like, we've said, with loan officers, agents, wholesalers. We're getting all of these different types of properties that are coming in. And so, we're going to continue to add more properties to Homester daily. I think we've got, 30 or 40 right now. Probably by the end of the month, we'll probably have 75. And next month we'll have more, But if, somebody is out there looking and they're looking in a specific area, they want to buy a house on the market and they don't see something on our site, they could reach out to us, and we'd love to, work with them to try to figure out what they're looking for in the area that they want to live in. And we'll see if we can go out there and find them that house and seller finance it to them.
That's amazing. Unheard of stuff. I think you guys are in a niche niche industry, niche product, niche coverage. I'm glad I'm able to spotlight it here because, like I said, it's for single family, it's unheard of, man. It's unheard of for those non-QM buyers. What's your outreach for loan officers look like? You guys just cold calling those, or emailing blasting those, or how does that work?
Yeah, cold calling. Yeah, I would say combination of everything. Yeah.
No, I didn't even think about that as a lead source, but that's a huge lead source right there, just for finding buyers as a whole. What's your hold time for most of these wraps? Are you usually finding a buyer pretty quickly?
Could be anywhere from like 60 to 120 days. Just depends on our entry into the property, how long it takes, for us to get it prepared. If the property is ready to go, usually if it's a newer home, we'll get the house cleaned. If if the carpets are dirty, we'll get them cleaned as well, so that way we can get them on the market. Other houses that are, that have renovations, some of the houses too that we sell, we're going to sell them as is, so people can come in, they can do their own painting, they can do their own flooring. But yeah, I would say typical, with marketing and everything, it's going to be anywhere from 2 to 6 months. So
and I never asked this, but you're actually wholesaling them in a way to actually semi-remodel them to get them up to a standard where you can actually get the exit price you desire.
Yeah, it just depends on the condition of it. We're definitely not rehabbers. We're not looking to go in and like do full blown rehabs, but like we had a house in Vegas. We did go through and rehab that one. It was in a gated community, and so we painted it and we did some flooring in there. But for the most part, we're mainly gonna clean them so that they're move-in condition. It's like, it's like if you went to go look at a car, right? And you showed up and it was dirty. People are going to look at it. Your wife's going to get out of the car and be like, I'm not living there. But if it's clean and it's moving and it looks semi-move-in ready, then you're going to have more people take a look at it and more people interested in it.
Yeah. So then it has like some flexibility, like, oh, the paint's the wrong color, but I can paint that, I'll figure it out.
There you go. Exactly.
So what is the next, like, where's the exit on this? Do you want to take this to doing hundreds or thousands of deals a year at sub 2, or what you plan to sell this model to an exit investor? Because I think this is I think it's very important to think of the end in mind when you're building something like this, because I think you guys have a niche product that can definitely be sold and created into a large corporation. So you guys thought about that and spoke about that at all?
The vision is just to do thousands and thousands of transactions, right? And just to keep doing it and have tons and tons of notes. Pretty much that's the goal.
There hasn't been a whole lot of people who have done this. You could probably count on one hand in the country of people that have been doing this style model that you could actually find on YouTube. So, we all know who dominates each market out there. You got the wholesalers like, Jameel, you've got Pace and Sub 2, you've got, Cody Sperber's and all these people out there. But there hasn't really been anybody that's like jumped into the Sub 2 wrap and providing, housing to people who, are underserved. And so I think that our ability is limitless at this point. We're currently working on wrapping 60 houses right now across the country. And as we kind of, wrap those properties, we'll, continue to expand. And then again, as, we do podcasts with great people like yourself, I'm sure we'll probably have other people that'll reach out to us and we'll, help them. And we'll learn along the way too. I'm sure we're going to learn a million different things, as we work with several different people in this venture.
How are you guys protecting yourself legally? Because a lot of people have speculation on wraps and second position notes and all this stuff. What's the legal side look like?
So we are working with, so the people that we're learning from are the best. These are the people that have been doing this for a very long time. Some of them have been doing it since 1980, others since the early 90s. And so we're calling and consulting them. In fact, before this call, that's who I was talking to. I was talking to one of them. They are an attorney. They own title and escrow, and they do RLMO and all that kind of stuff. So we're definitely being consulted by those people. We also have real estate attorneys in multiple states that we're asking lots of questions to, as we're kind of doing each deal and working in each, different jurisdiction.
Yeah. It gets heavy. It gets heavy when you're in multiple markets, man. You need a real estate attorney for every state, and It gets interesting. The Rolodex has got to be super crazy right now.
Well, you know what? I mean, the good thing is, I mean, we're in a great community also. I mean, Sub 2, we have access to so many great resources and people that are working in, multiple markets. And because there's 4 of us, we all have different relationships. So, we can get in, and let's say we run into an issue, we'll roundtable it. Hey, does anybody know anybody that does this? Oh yeah, I know so-and-so. Let me reach out to him. Angel will reach out to somebody. Alex will reach out. Verge will reach out. I'll look at my Rolodex. We're like, oh, okay. Let's call this person and see if they, may know someone that we can talk to and get some advice from.
No, that's amazing. Multitude of counselors.
Yeah.
Super important. We're going to do this real quick, 30 seconds each. What is a quote that is yours or somebody else's that you resonate with? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. My favorite quote is by Dan Pena, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your future." I relate to that a lot because if you surround yourself with the right people, you'll get the right outcomes. If you surround yourself with people that are kind of losers, you're just going to become that. So that's why I feel like we have such a strong team, because we all want to go to the same place. We all have the same vision. So that's why we can really grow together.
There you go. Who's next?
I got one. Don't go through life, grow through life. I mean, I know a lot of people just go and just be, I won't say be an employee. I mean, that's why I say be an employee. Like when really you have control of your life and you can essentially take it wherever you want it. And that was actually my quote in 8th grade.
Living up to your dreams now. All right, Mitch or Angel.
Mine is by Dan. I want it by Dan Pena. That's attitude over skill. You have the right attitude and you're applying yourself to continue to make yourself better. Eventually, you'll surpass the person who has natural and whatever skill that you get.
All right, Mitch.
Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless.
Ooh,
so that's one of my favorite ones. And fear is false expectations appearing real. So if you think about those two, once you become fearless, you're not afraid of anything. You'll jump out. We don't have work hours, just so you understand.
Oh yeah.
We don't have. I mean, there isn't like, oh, we're going to work from 9 to 5, whatever. And we're also willing to jump out and try different things. A lot of people are afraid to jump out and try all these different things that we're trying. So
it's important. It's important. I think experience and not being afraid of failure, but failing forward, you learn a lot and you get to learn from your mistakes. And you might fumble the bag a few times here, but you always build to become a better investor and entrepreneur as it comes along. So there's a lot of you guys. Homester, go check it out. I appreciate everybody coming on. Angel, Alex, Verge, Mitch. Where can people find you online? Real quick, your personal Instagram, and then we'll end it here.
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram at I am Angel Perez 1.
And everyone can find me at my Instagram, which is at Alex Kamenetsky, one word.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. It's Delio with Virgilio. My
Instagram is Cashflow Mitch. And you can find us on Facebook at Homester.
For everybody here, thanks for tuning in. I hope you all learned something today. If you have a sub 2 deal, or if you know a lender that needs more opportunity, send it to these guys. They'll help you out. We appreciate everybody coming on. Thanks for your time. And I hope you all tune in for the next one. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.